All right. Once again, this is Joe Stevens with the Equestria Inquirer.
As well as TechRat.
And we're broadcasting live on the Everfree Radio live stream with our special guest, Pixelkitties.
Hello. You may recognize Pixelkitties from such buttons as the one I am wearing.
And the one she's wearing. We have our fellow Trixie fans right here.
Absolutely.
Unite, yes.
Woo.
Yes. So, I guess that's a good way to start out the question. What makes Trixie best pony?
Trixie has the best color scheme of any pony. She has the best performance ability of any pony. She's the most fabulous of any pony. I mean, what's not to like about Trixie, I think, is a better question.
Frankly,
oh yeah, she's kind of a jerk. But otherwise, perfect.
There seems to be a very devoted following of Trixie.
Well, like they say, you either love her or you hate her, and if you love her, you know, she's
and frankly, Joe, I'm insulted that you even had to ask that question.
Well, there you go. Hey, you know what? It's all right if you can like Trixie. We love and tolerate everyone at this Brony fandom. So, Pixelkitties, tell us a little bit about what you do in the Brony fandom.
I make a lot of comics. I tweet a lot about beer. And I make some banners for different websites. And I just try and draw some ponies and make people smile as best I can.
Speaking of drawing ponies, we had originally planned to actually film this at her booth. Unfortunately, technical difficulties. It's Derpy's fault. It's always Derpy's fault. Prevented us from doing that, but we did have Pixelkitties bring a couple of her pieces along here with us, and we'd like to show a couple of those off right now. If she could just bring these over here. So why don't you tell us about this first piece that you wanted to show us?
Well, this is a print I made for the Brony Thank You Fund, which is collecting charity and selling these, I think, for $30 with money going to Toys for Tots here at the con. And also, this is just a thing I made to keep stuff in. It's just a book. But
This is what she makes out of boxes.
That's
this is just a box.
That's
for her.
normal. This is not even like.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
This is to keep secrets in. This is my book of
Secrets.
commerce. So yes.
Unbelievable. Fantastic.
Thank
That was
you.
so
Thank you.
wonderful.
And so I know that most people out there watching, most bronies, would probably know you best from your Deviantart page.
Yes, correct.
And so, what kind of things do you like most doing on your Deviantart page?
Well, during the season, I like to put up a new comic for every new episode. So that's one of the main things I do.
Do you have a particular favorite of those that you've made?
Let's see. I think my favorite one of those was the one I did for the end of season for a Canterlot wedding. I did a parody of Dead Space with that, and it had a scene with Pinkie Pie going Sid Vicious and all kinds of crazy things happening. So that's my favorite comic I've done, I think.
Crossovers seem to be very popular.
Yes.
And also, I've heard around that you're kind of known as a mouse artist, so to speak.
Yes.
Could you kind of explain a little bit what that means?
What that means is I just never really got used to a Wacom tablet. Everybody swears by them, but I learned on a mouse, and I still use a mouse. I use it to create all my comics. So.
And how exactly did you go about doing that? I've heard that you have like pieces that you kind of piece back together to assemble your various panels for your comics.
Yes, the right thing to do, the right way to go about it would be to go into Illustrator and create curves and edges and things and put all that together to make a really nice, seamless picture that looks a lot like the show, that has that Flash look to it. But I don't like Illustrator that much, so I pretty much create pieces of circles and turn them into ponies in Photoshop.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That is wonderful.
Well, what kind of things do you have for sale? I know that it will probably be difficult for someone to show your DeviantArt page at the show necessarily. I mean, not that would be necessarily bad, but what all things do you have for sale here?
I'm selling prints, 4x6 and 5x7 little prints, 11x17 poster size prints. I'm selling, they're all sold out, but I was selling decorative bottles of Gummy Cola, Arrogant Trixie Ale, and Brew Free or Derp Ale.
How long did those last?
20 minutes. One guy came and bought every bottle of Arrogant Trixie, and the rest sold out pretty quick.
I was
Such
so
arrogant.
hoping to get my hooves on one of those.
So arrogant of you.
I
I'm so
know,
disappointed.
seriously.
We apologize. It looks like what we're experiencing here is there is a cosplay contest going on at the moment, and I believe they're announcing it. You can maybe see it over there. Pixel, have you been able to see any of the cosplay? Interesting coming by your booth?
I have seen some really great costumes. My favorite so far was a girl dressed as Daring Do, complete with, she had a set of Daring Do books, and she had the idol she made herself. It was beautiful.
We'll have to look out for that one.
We need to find that one, absolutely.
She looks great.
And just out of curiosity, have you ever considered cosplaying yourself?
Not really. I kind of wanted to do a Trixie thing, obviously, for this time.
Obviously.
I ran out of time. Tomorrow I'm wearing a sort of Rarity outfit, but I don't think it's really cosplaying. It's just purple.
I was considering Trixie myself, but then common sense got the better of me.
At
least the hat. At least the hat, I would think.
With the
Yeah,
hat
of course,
and
of course.
everything. There you go.
So,
well, we thank you again. And now, real quick,
so
we all, of course, have your stuff available for sale at BronyCon. And what other conventions will you be attending?
I'm going to be in like 3 weeks. I need to get ready for TrotCon. And then in September, I'll be at Canterlot Gardens. So
Terrific.
and TrotCon is in
Ohio, yes.
TrotCon is in Ohio as well. I know
Yes.
Canterlot Gardens is also in Ohio.
And if
Interesting.
you cannot attend those conventions, can they purchase prints available on your DeviantArt page?
Not yet. I'm thinking of starting an Etsy page, though, because there seems to be a lot of interest post-con. So I guess I'll keep you posted. Keep an eye on my either Twitter feed or DeviantArt page.
And what is that Twitter feed and DeviantArt page named?
Both of them are Pixelkitties.
So be sure to look at Pixelkitties and Pixelkitties on DeviantArt page.
Please.
Thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you so
And
much,
good luck
Pixel.
with the show.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very
Take it
much.
easy.
Thank you. Well, we're going to try and get our roaming camera back in order, and we'll be back with hopefully some coverage of the cosplay contest, some coverage of more of the booths. We're going to try to get in Pixelkitties' booth before the end of the day, so you can actually see. She's got a, the big cake
I
set up.
I think that's the next dealer over, but it's on the same table, so I'm cool with that.
Okay,
it's
well, we'll have to
fantastic.
take a
We'll
look
try
at
to get
that.
some footage
Look
of
at
that.
the and we'll show you everything. But real quick, before we sign off here to try and get the roaming camera work, why don't we get a quick look at the convention? Again, here you have a more wider view of what's going on. There's a cosplay going on. We'd love to show you that, and we're going to work on it, and we'll be right back on the Everfree Radio live stream with continuing coverage of BronyCon 2012. I'm Joe Stevens.
And I'm Tech Rat for
Thank
the
you.
Equestria Inquirer.
For the Equestria Inquirer and Everfree Radio. Thank you.
All right.